Hello, everybody. Welcome back to WDAT. My name's Jacob, Sam, Charlie on today's stream to talk Cardiff City 1, Watford 1, but a lot more than that as well, which we'll touch on in the show. My WhatsApp's popping off. That's probably Gino Pozzo on the phone looking for a new technical director. But one thing I will say is there's a lot to get into, and thank you to everyone who's watching live at the moment. If you're watching this back, make sure you leave your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Really do appreciate the sort of engagement and everyone kind of getting involved with our content at the moment. So it does really mean a lot. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to WDA as well. Yesterday, I had the absolute pleasure spending a day with Mrs. Charlie Zazzera. Charlie, how was your away day yesterday?
It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good fun.
Good early start. Getting up there, a few beers on the way up. Went in to watch Luton lose in the pub before, which was enjoyable. Good start today. And then the game ended pretty positively, I thought. So we had a tiny spring in our step, but a very enjoyable but winless away day.
Very enjoyable. And we it wrapped up rather with us seeing Sam down Cardiff. Can we call it Cardiff Strip? Is it?
Yeah.
There's so many bars. It is pretty much like a Cavos Iron Apper strip or something. But Sam, how was your away day, mate?
It was a bit of a chaotic one, actually, to be honest with you. We left Birmingham at our train was about 10 o'clock-ish, giving us plenty of time. We were meant to get into Cardiff at about 12:30. Didn't get into Cardiff until about 3:10 because we got to Cheltenham and the train just failed, and we were stuck there for about 2 hours with a load of Derby fans who were just desperate to get off the train because they were playing Cheltenham yesterday.
Yeah.
So we get to Cardiff about 3:05, 10:03. Luckily, we knew someone there who managed to pick us up, take us to the ground, and we missed the first 20 minutes or so. Got there within 5 minutes, we conceded, and we thought, why don't we just turn around now? So it was still enjoyable. It's all part of the away day experience, I suppose. You're going to get days like yesterday where things don't always go to plan. But unfortunately, the wait goes on for an away win.
I mean, I said it on the match day TikTok, as Sam said, the wait is really going on now. It's 270. We're going today 279 days since Watford last won away from home, and it was Vakoum Bayo who scored the winner at Norwich from a great Espria pass, but that feels like a distant memory. And to be honest, Charlie, we did have the chances yesterday, didn't we, to win it? I mean, just in the whole, what was your reflection on yesterday? Was it 1 point game or 2 points dropped?
I definitely have to say it's got to be
tough,
considering how bad we've been recently off the back. Like we said before the game, didn't we, that we'd take a point? So I'm trying to look at half glass full and say 1 point games, but I'll kind of drill down quickly and show some stats. Just on the momentum bar here, we spoke about this before. See if people can see that all right. Obviously, Watford are the blue lines, Cardiff are the green lines. If anyone doesn't know kind of the momentum, it just shows how the game went and gives a good reflection of kind of who was attacking. So to be fair, it was a bad start to Watford. And then after Cardiff scored, I think we were quite dominant. Even from the rest of the first half, the players got a few boos off, but we responded after that goal. And then you can see here it was pretty much complete domination after that from Watford, which was really pleasing to see that reaction. I thought it was interesting. It was going to see how they're going to respond to one getting booed off. Obviously, Val kept him after the Sunderland game, but I think they responded really well, created quite a few chances. We'll just go down to kind of the shot map. Before we do that, just look at the XG. Again, for anyone who doesn't know, expected goals kind of tries to reflect who has the better chances within the game. And you can see here Cardiff at 0.69, whereas we had 2.04. So clearly we had the better chances in the game, more possession. And big chances, 3 big chances we had in the game as well, 2 big chances missed. Quickly look at the Watford shot map here. And the reason our XG is so high is actually Yasser Aspria's chance, that flick on from a corner where he's literally kind of next to the goal. And for some reason he jumps. Whereas I think if he just stood there and let the ball come down, he would have headed it into an empty net. What did you guys make of that chance or just Watford's shooting in general and chances?
Come on, Sam.
We got to win the game yesterday, I think, with the chances that we created. I know the goal we conceded was really, really sloppy. But as you say, Charlie, reflecting the momentum chart there, after Cardiff's goal, I thought we were much the better team. I'm not sure if it's on the shot map there, but Tommins there, we have to talk about that chance as well. That
Big
miss.
chance, wasn't it?
He
Yeah,
has to score that. He has to score that. Yeah, Jacob, I'm not too sure what you thought, but I mean, I think we created the chances, and on another day, we have to be putting those away, don't we?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's interesting the way you say we created the chances. I feel like Cardiff's keeper probably gifted us two massive opportunities. And to be fair, look, I mean, a lot of Bayo, he's a player that will always split opinion at Watford to the day he leaves. One thing I don't think anyone can argue with, though, is the fact that he does really put a shift in Bayo, and he does lack composure in front of goal and lack that final finish. But he created both of those chances out of absolutely nothing. And look, he should score both of them. He's only scored one out of the two. And then, as you say, Sam, the Tom Ince chance. Whether it's weird when I watch it back with Tom, I think he should hit the target. I think that's almost a guarantee. That's something that he has to do. Whether he scores or not is a different thing. I think because the defender was coming across, he felt like he had to really nail it. But really, in reality, he probably could have put it inside the keeper and it would have been okay. Charlie, was there anything else that stood out stats wise, or?
It was quite a good link there. You were talking about Bayo, and this it was a vintage vacuum Bayo performance. We saw the good and the bad. On the right, you can see his heat map here, which you can see him getting all around the pitch, even kind of right back area, centre of the pitch. So his work rate is really, really good. I did just want to highlight another little slide here, which kind of represents in this season how he's been performing in front of goal. And this is in the Championship. Can you guys see that okay? This is in the Championship, players who have played 10 games. So they differ between the minutes. Here are the minutes, here are the games. And along, this is the goals. So you can see for players who have played 10 games, Vacuum Bayo, he has scored 3, but he also has the highest. So he's underperforming his XG. So he should have scored 3.7 goals here. So you can see he's not taking the chances, but we know that with Bayo, he's probably a 1 in 3, 1 in 4 kind of a striker. And I also found it interesting looking down at this list. You'll also find Yasser Asprilla, 10 games. His XG is pretty high, 1.7. That would have come, a lot of that would have been from yesterday's game, but you can see he still hasn't scored this season in the league. So a lot of us talk about Bayo and his number 9, but we need to be talking about the other players along with him. And then you can see also on this list, Matthias Martins, who's also got 3 goals, and he's outperforming his XG. So for the quality of his chances, it's only 1.4. So I just think that goes to show what we're working with in terms of quality, but I don't think we should I think Bayo, he put in a really good performance yesterday, and I think we need other players as well in the team to chip in, because we are still creating good chances. And I feel like, especially second half yesterday, we played with real good intent. We just didn't have the quality to dispatch Cardiff. And looking at the league table, I couldn't believe Cardiff were 8th. I mean, I think they were terrible, but they have been decent this season. And considering us off the back of some bad games. But like you said, Jacob, I did think their goalkeeper was probably our most creative player yesterday.
Yeah. Sam, where do you stand on Bayo? Because the live chat at the moment is quite a split on him. Some people are saying he's terrible. Some people are saying he gets himself in the positions. What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I think I've always been a fan of Bayo. I've tried to support him as best as I can. I think a lot of the reason why there's a bit of hostility is the wrong word, but why fans are hesitant around him was the price tag and his agent as well. I think, for example, if he didn't have that link, I think fans would be saying it was actually an okay signing. We know I was actually at Stevenage away, and Bayo scored in the first half and missed a sitter in the second half. And Charlie was sat next to me and said it was something like, "What, for every 5 chances Bayo gets, he'll only score 1." And that's really frustrating. I do think, though, saying that, I don't know if this is a hot take, but we haven't seen enough of Reece Healey. I think he's better than Rajovic. I think he suits us better than Rajovic as well. Someone who I've seen, Rajovic is getting a lot of stick from what I've seen. I don't want to say it's justified or unjustified, because I get football fans are fickle, and I was one of those saying straight after that when he scored those 3 goals in 2 games, I'm happy with him just scoring and not doing anything else. But then it leads to the question, when he's not scoring goals, what is he actually doing? Because when he came on yesterday, he didn't offer enough. But on the other hand, I think Bakumbayo brings a new dimension to this Watford team. If he can start finishing off his chances, and I think we've got a great player there.
Rio in the comment section agrees with you, Sam. He said, I prefer Bayo to Rajovic because of the off the ball. He's much better. Tommy sums it up well here. Bayo will miss a sitter, but then score a worldie like Rotherham away. Fabian says every game he will miss at least one-on-one. Charlie, we had this conversation, didn't we, about this debate with the number 9. And I think I agreed with Sam that I thought Bayo, from what I've seen so far of Rajovic, still early days, but I prefer Bayo in terms of his link-up play and what he can offer off the ball. Whereas Rajovic, as we've said a number of times, is more of a guy who you put it in the box and he'll be in the right position. Is it too early to say who's better than each other? Or do you have a stance on who you prefer?
Yeah, I think it's clear to see, especially the position we're in now, that we're not that cohesive as we were at the start of the season. We need a player like Bayo who's going to put himself about. But I think it's far too early to write off Rajovic at all. I just looked quickly back at the XG table to look at Rajovic's. He scored 3 goals off an XG of 0.23. So imagine if we're putting 5-6 balls in the box each game for Rajovic, is he going to be a better finisher? If Rajovic started yesterday and had some of the chances that Bayo did, would we have won the game 3-0? So it's a tough one. One thing that I'm really struggling with is I'm not sure about the changes from Val. It's
this
hard,
game.
Just in general, really, because I get why he's done it, and a lot of the time they've had a positive impact. But I think in the last couple of games, it's hard to see. Hard for anyone to get any consistency, get the relationships between the players, because there's so much change in game.
I've got a problem as well. Actually, I was thinking of. Sorry to jump in, Charlie. I think the thing is that we're talking about how good Val's changes are in game, but why is he not getting it right from the start a lot of the time? That's what I'm thinking about.
What was he got wrong, Sam?
Is it him or is it the players?
I think it's a bit of both. Like, you can't, for example, Coventry, I don't think it's Val's fault that Wesley Hoot's putting it into his own goal when Dan Backman's not looking. But for example, in some games, like yesterday, we were so poor in the first half, and we looked better when there were. I think he definitely told them at half time to be more aggressive, be a bit more on the front foot. And I get that you, as a manager, part of your job is to be reactive in games. I think Val is a very good reactive manager. I just want to. I'm not criticizing him. I do like him. I just want him to be a bit more proactive in games as well.
Do you know what I'm going to put out? I actually agree with his team selection.
I don't think that was a problem with the personnel necessarily. I just think that was a problem. I don't think we're aggressive enough in the first half at all.
In the midfield? In
midfield, defensively, I think they had too much space. Going forward, they had too much space. I think for as much as we praise Val for his changes in game, be it tactically or personnel wise, I think we can question as well that why is he not getting it right from the start.
Yeah, it's an interesting point.
Sorry, mate. I personally think that kind of just exposes the level of quality we've got within the squad. And Val is like, he's very proactive. He keeps trying different things, and he's trying to get reaction. It worked yesterday in the half time, but I think for the quality that he's got to keep trying and firefight, I personally think he's doing more of a good job than a bad job. But I know what you mean from the start, but we got it right at the end, and like Tom Ince should have scored. Bayo, Espria, we should have won yesterday's game, and I don't think that's down to Val. I think Jacob was right about team selection, and I think one thing I quite like about Val is he's you're earning your spot. Porto dropped yesterday, Loser dropped yesterday. I think that sends a good message and should work long time. What are you going to say, Jacob, about
Sorry, yeah, I was just going to jump in. I mean, I thought the way he set up, number one, I'm happy he changed the team. But I think we've got to put in the context of the results we've come off the back of as well and the performances. And I think he looked at Cardiff away, a team that was in the top 6 before yesterday. And he thought, you know what, let's go there, keep it really compact and try and nick a goal in the similar style that Bayo, in the chances that Bayo had, like sort of something out of nothing and come away with at least a point. And I think if you said to us before the game, well, me personally anyway, I don't know about anyone in the live chat, would you have taken a point? or have absolutely snapped your hand off. And I felt that team was good enough to get at least a point, in my opinion, the way he set us up. Sam, do you want to answer this one from Alice? Sam, I don't think it's getting start wrong. He's setting up in a way and expects full energy in the press. Yesterday was about solidity in the first half. The way he plays, it needs changes.
Yeah, I think there's a sense of logic to that in terms of bringing that solidity in the first half. And again, I do actually agree with what both of you said, that I think there's an element of reflecting the quality that's available, because the defending for the goal was really, really poor yesterday. I thought we were weak at the back, and ultimately he can't do anything about that from the touchline. But I do think it was quite clear from early on that Cardiff weren't comfortable being pressed, particularly the goalkeeper. And I think if we were able to get onto that a bit earlier, been a bit more on the front foot, I think we'd have had more joy in that first half, to be honest. But like you say, Alice, that would have probably opened us up a bit at the back as well. So I think it's sort of, I can see both sides of the argument. I just want us to be a bit quicker off the mark in matches.
Yeah, for sure. A couple more comments. He can hold the ball, Rajovic, but he has no strength for passing ability whatsoever. This is a great point from Andy. The movement of Rajovic is class. We don't give him any service or create anything for him. The job of a number 9 is to score. Haaland offers Man City not much more than the goals. Charlie, I saw you nodding your head vigorously.
Yeah, Andy with a great shout. Yeah, we've said it before with Rajovic, so it's hard, but we were going to talk about it kind of going to the Sheffield Wednesday game, and maybe we'll talk about who deserves to start that game. But I think for the culture of the squad, the right way we should get people working hard. I think Val should carry on doing what he's doing and give the players who deserve a spot. So from yesterday's game, Sam, who do you think deserves to start against Sheffield Wednesday?
In terms of the front line?
It could be anyone. Who impressed you yesterday that you think deserves to start?
It's a difficult one, that, actually. I really liked Sierralta at centre-back, actually.
I completely agree with that.
I think we looked so much more solid, and I can't lie. I think Charlie said after you were a fan of it, but I thought, I think I thought we looked a lot. It wasn't as solid when Porteous came on. I thought Sierralta at the back with Hoot actually looked really good, and I think a reason for that was Jake Livermore did really, really well as well when he was on.
So does Jake Livermore start against Sheffield Wednesday?
I think so, yeah. I don't think you can drop him after that performance. I think it's definitely better than what we've seen. Not necessarily from Sierralta. I just think the fact that Sierralta looks better at centre-back means we need someone to fill in midfield, and I think Livermore did a really good job there.
I say it before and I say it again. Sierralta is our best centre-back that we've got. So we've got to play him at centre-back. That's just the way I look at it. I was keen to see the experiment at defensive midfield. But when you go on a bit of a run like we've been on performance and results-wise, let's just go back to basics. And I know that sounds really simple, but you put your best players in the best positions, and Sierralta for me is our best centre-back. I thought actually on the whole, I know Cardiff, we do have to caveat this with that Cardiff didn't really offer a lot going forward. And their one goal came from a set piece, which we'll touch on in just a moment. But Sierralta for me, I mean, the stats don't lie, part of one of the best championship defences in history. The guy, compared to Porteous and Hoot, is the best option we have in that position for me. And I think, as you say, Sam, with Livermore in that's not sort of number 6. Again, he's comfortable in that position. He's composed. I thought he kept everything simple. He broke up play. Didn't do anything, there was no Hollywood balls. But I'm more than happy to see a little bit of that after the last few weeks. So
yeah, I think it's what we needed after the last few weeks. Just a bit of composure, someone to breathe, that sort of thing.
So you're saying you're killing the dream of the full 6 Chilean Pirlo? Is it the end?
Do you know what, Charlie? I was a huge. I really wanted to see it work, but as I say, put the best players in their best position. And number 2, I think the most simple thing about Livermore's game yesterday compared to Sierralta's, and this is no criticism at Sierralta because it's not his position, but a player who can take the ball in the half turn. And as soon as you can do that, it opens the pitch up. Particularly in the second half, I felt that Livermore, again, his positioning on the second ball was pretty good. Like, he kept it recycling well. And Sierralta, we all know that one pass he has, which is he plays it to his back to goal and he always goes that way. Whereas a Livermore, he could go either side. So for me, I think, Charlie, would you say Livermore was probably our best player yesterday? Is that fair?
Was he our best player? SofaScore saying Bayo.
Okay, yeah.
The high rating. A player that I wanted to mention was Edu Kayembe.
Okay.
Oh,
Because a couple of fans on the way back, Charlie, there were some people who were saying they didn't like him, and there were some people saying they loved him. And I was like, where's everyone standing there?
Yeah, really mixed opinion. Sometimes I kind of get frustrated with him. Sometimes I'm soft. I think they got 1-on-1 and he kind of lost the ball in the midfield and he's poor in transition. And when I was editing that TikTok for that Tom Ince chance, I think he tries a complex ball when you just hear me. But I think on the whole, he had a pretty good performance. I don't know what you guys think, but I think he's quite progressive with his passing and sometimes with his dribbling. He can beat someone. So, again, I think he's definitely staked a claim. We've just got so many players in those positions and it's hard to know who's best. No one can keep that consistent level. What do you guys think of Edo Kembe?
I thought he was great. I thought he was really good yesterday.
No.
The way you move.
We need hold away and singing that next
That's
time.
going to be sung at a mad squirrel.
Oh God.
I thought he was great. To be honest with you, for his first start in a while, has he started a game this season? Blackburn, maybe. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Can't remember. It was definitely one of his first starts this season. I thought he did really, really well. I think we looked a lot more solid in midfield yesterday. I didn't think Tom Daly had the best game, but I think Kayembe and Livermore did really, really well to support him in there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Charlie, on that, and Sam about Kayembe. I think he's better slightly further on.
That's where he played yesterday, didn't he? As one of the eights.
Yeah, Rio said he started versus Blackburn. Thank you, Rio. I think with Kayembe, I mean, when we signed him initially from Belgium, I think he was a number 10. And slowly but surely, Watford have moulded him into an 8, into a 10, into a 6, into a 7, 8, 9. It probably played every position at some point. But I don't think he's a holding midfielder. I think he's that, like, if you're going to play a 3, like having Livermore and then maybe 1 or 2 in front, I'd play him there. And I agree with you, Charlie. I think first half, I think the whole midfield struggled, to be honest. I thought Tom Daly was probably the most positive with the way he was trying to get forward, which was probably at his own detriment because he gave the ball away quite a lot, but at least he was trying to create. Livermore was kind of playing deep. So Kayembe, I thought first half maybe wasn't really in it. Second half, I thought he really grew into the game. So I think he's a safe pair of hands, isn't he, Kayembe?
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention, I know we've got to get onto Ben Manga stuff. And we were speaking about it, especially in the first half, and be interested to see what people think in the comments. But last couple of games, I've noticed, especially Sunderland, we've stopped our build-up. Dan Backman now, every opportunity is going long. I don't know if Val's told him, look, we're low on confidence at the moment. Let's take no risk. Let's just get it long, get up the field. But for me, I'm just a bit disappointed at that because I feel a lot of our good stuff at the early part of the season came from building up from the back, progressing up the pitch. And now it's a bit like Backman kicking it up to Bayer, who's never going to trap it. So we're kind of conceding possession. But what do you think, Sam, in terms of our build-up at the moment?
I agree with you. I think always it's about taking risks, and I think it's about trusting a long-term process, trial and error, that sort of thing. I do see the logic that confidence is low at the moment, and obviously things will differ game to game. But I think something I have been disappointed with Val about in the last few games is the way that we've come away from what was going so well in those first 5 or 6 games. And we've resorted to, as you say, Charlie, just Backman kicking it long whenever he has it, rather than taking those risks. And I know, obviously, we've seen already this season, we've conceded goals from that. But at this stage in our development, I don't mind that, to be honest. I think they probably also looked at the league table and think we actually probably need some points on the board as well. So, yeah, it's disappointing, but I think it's understandable. I've got a hot take as well, by the way.
A hot take?
Yeah. I don't see what Jamal Lewis offers that James Morris didn't. Everyone was expecting Lewis to come in and be 10 times better than Morris, but I don't think there's been one game yet, other than when he came on, I think it was against Birmingham, where I thought, this guy's better than James Morris. I actually think Morris in some ways has been better than Lewis this season. I think Lewis has been looking negative on the ball. There was a time yesterday, about 86, 87 minutes, where he had a chance to cross it and didn't. I think he's looked a bit weak defensively and caught out of position a few times. I'm not saying James Morris is the best left back, but I'm not sure what you two think. But I don't think Morris has done any worse this season than Lewis has.
Yeah, I disagree with you on what you said about on the ball. I think there's glimpses there with Morris that he has got quality attacking his other fullback and kind of shifting on right foot, left foot. Don't get me wrong, none of them really came off. He had a shot saved against, I don't know who it was, maybe West Brom in the rain. And I think going forward, he's looked glimpses that he's got quality. For me, just kind of the out of possession stuff. I think we're leading to their corner yesterday. I think he mistimed a clearance. He went up in the air, and then he got out muscled for a header, which led to a shot which went for a corner. And I think even against Sunderland, was it their corner? He didn't win that contact, and they got the second contact for the second goal. So physically, I've just been a bit disappointed with him, but I think maybe he has got maybe more ability than Morris. But to be honest, I agree with you in the sense of I think James Morris has been as good, if not better, when he's played than Jamal Lewis this season.
I'm still not totally convinced Lewis is fit.
It could be a bit of that. Yeah, didn't have a proper pre-season, did he? Unless did he train with Newcastle?
I think he did, but it was kind of like he knew he was going to be moving. I think you made a good point, Sam, about sort of the way he finished that game, and he looked leggy, and that's like most games he's played so far. He's looked a bit leggy. I think that's the only thing I'd say about Val. I mean, as you say, Morris is on the bench. Maybe you could have brought on fresh legs. I think I said it to you, Charlie, yesterday about Morris, and the one thing you can never have a go at him for, he carries out the manager's instructions. Now, I'm not saying Lewis doesn't, but whatever you ask Morris to do, he will try to do it to the best of his ability. Whereas I'm not saying Lewis doesn't, but definitely there's times where he's kind of like out of position a little bit more, and because he knows probably he's got the ability to influence play. Maybe couple more comments before we actually know what the Cardiff goal. Who's to blame? No, I hate playing a blame game, but we got to talk about it. It's a great finish, to be fair, but he can't be free at the back post, Charlie, can he? Who are we putting this down to?
I hate to say it, but this might be a coaching thing, you know. I looked back at it today, and we've got a really strange setup from corners. It's like a half zonal marking. I think it is zonal marking. And yesterday we had trying to win the first contact. Tom Delly and Sierralta got in each other's way. To be honest, Hoot was a bit under it, but Sierralta, I think it was his ball, and kind of Tom Delly got in the way for the first contact. And because it's zonal marking and people aren't following a man, after that ball went in the back post, I don't think it was anyone's man, but just the zonal marking didn't work, and McGuinness had a really easy opportunity. So maybe Sierralta should have been more dominant to win the first contact, but that zonal marking, I haven't really kept a close eye on it. Was it a corner against Sunderland for the first goal? Was it a free kick for the second goal? Sorry.
I think it was just a cross that came in, Sam, wasn't it?
Can't remember, to be fair.
So Lewis got. I mean, it's been I've seen the same goal like 15 times, but I don't think it was from a set piece.
No, but it was a cross, and we didn't deal with it. Basically,
Cross,
I think that's happened quite a few times this season, dealing with crosses. So I don't know if that's a Porto and Hoot, the centre back's decision. So yeah, one to keep an eye on. That set piece is something we need to improve on, because again, Cardiff, I think they did have a chance when they raced through and Carlin Grant skied it, but other than that, I thought they were really, really poor. Probably one of the worst teams I've seen this year.
They were bad. The way they set up was very negative at home as well. I thought they were going to be a lot more on the front foot, but maybe they thought that was the best way to play Watford. As you say, Carlin Grant probably had their best chance of the match. And when you look at sort of
massive.
Yeah, maybe. This is the thing. I mean, you look at our chances to their chances, and we've probably outweighed them in terms of the quality of chance we created. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Stone Cabbage, Sam, I find interesting Batman's our captain, but doesn't do any post-match interviews. Pog Alfie says, what are your thoughts on Batman and who should be captain?
Oh, it's the...
It's like a weekly feature, the Batman chat.
To be honest with you, I've had big questions over this leadership group already, when 2 of the 5 of them have already been disciplined for the rules that they set out. To be fair, I don't know who else there is. That's the problem. We should have probably signed a captain this summer. That's what I think. We should have signed a leader.
Jake Livermore?
But he's not going to play enough games, I don't think. And your captain needs to be someone who's going to be playing week in, week out. And I don't think Dan Backman has... I think he's done okay this season. I think it's fair to say. I think there's been games where we've come on there and gone, he's been brilliant. There's games where we've come on there and gone, he's been terrible. And some games where we've gone first half, he was good. Second half, he wasn't good. So it's a real mixture. But there's no one else, I don't think, to be honest with you, who could take the armband.
Tommy said, I like Livermore, but does he have the legs to play every week, Charlie? He has 2 weeks break now, so hopefully be okay for Sheffield Wednesday, but couldn't see him playing twice a week.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. Just on the Batman one, like I don't know, a couple of people are commenting, but did he do anything bad yesterday?
No, I think there is an element. I think there is an element that people are quite quick to jump on Batman regardless of his performance. I don't think he couldn't have done anything for the goal. He's been told clearly to kick the ball out. So, I mean, at what point do we have to just kind of go, like, lay off the guy, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't get where this Batman conversation's come from. I don't really see what. I didn't really think about his performance yesterday. I don't think it had anything to do.
No, I don't. No, I just think it's always a constant conversation that's kind of going on. And he says Batman is a good championship keeper, inconsistent, along 7 player. I think that's probably a good way to sum it up. But yeah, I was going to just wrap up sort of final thoughts on this one. Charlie, going into kind of international break now, there might be a change off the pitch, which is normally quite normal for Watford, to be fair. So we'll get into that in just a second. But looking at the fixtures coming up, so we've got Sheffield Wednesday straight after the international break. And then we've got Swansea away and Millwall at home to finish October before Huddersfield away and Rotherham at home before the next international break. So you're looking at Sheffield Wednesday, Swansea, Millwall, Huddersfield and Rotherham. I'll put you on the spot here, but that's 5 games, 3 at home, 2 away. How many points should Watford be getting? And let us know in the comment section what you think we should be getting as well.
We should be getting at least 9 points from those games. If we're looking at our home fixtures, Sheffield Wednesday, although Sheffield Wednesday look like they're going close to appointing Danny Rowe, a really interesting coach who was Ralph Hasenhüttl's number 2 and been Bayern Munich coach. So interesting that could they have a potential new manager bounce. Millwall, we owe them one after last season, but they've had an okay start to the season. Rotherham, we should be looking to beat them, but they took a point off Southampton. And look, Huddersfield away and Swansea away in a functioning, cohesive Watford team. I'll be more confident, but I want to see us getting back to winning at home, get that foundation, and then go from there. Sorry, the away wins might have to wait, but yeah, for me, out of those 9 games, 15 points, out of 15 points, I'd want 9.
Yeah, Woody and Gareth in the comment section have both gone with 9. Sam, how many are you? Oh, so Oja says we need to get 10 points at least, or we'll be going down. Rio says 8 points. Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham win. Huddersfield, Millwall draw, and Swansea loss. What do you reckon? How much should we be looking to get in?
Realistically, what we should be looking to get is 9. I think we'll get 6. I think we beat Sheffield Wednesday and Rotherham. I think we lose the others.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that's pessimistic, but
no. So that's how many you think we'll get?
I think we'll get 6 points. I think we need to get at least 9.
I think at least 9. I agree with both of you guys. Looking at the fixtures,
You think we need if we don't get what's the?
No, I mean, it's again. I mean, we said it. We said it on the train, didn't we, Charlie? Like, you can't at this point in the season, you cannot overreact that we're in a relegation battle at this point. But Sam, Sam made the point. We do need the results, and I think when I mean need, I mean in terms of like building momentum and building a bit of a rhythm with this team. Sorry, Sam.
I think Val needs it because there's another international break after those 5 games after Rotherham. Seriously, if we don't get enough points, he will be sacked in that international break without doubt. So I think for Val, I think that's the consequence. I think if we don't get a good amount of points, I think he's almost certainly gone. Interesting one, by the way, because it does seem that John Eustace is on his way out of Birmingham. I thought it was for the Rangers job, but it looks like they're just replacing him with Wayne Rooney, which is an interesting one.
Give it use at the end of the season. Charlotte was looking forward to seeing Cisco back at the Vic. It was not to be. Friend of the channel, Cisco Munoz, unfortunately, will not be back at the Vic. Not a great time. 2 points in 10 at Sheffield Wednesday. It was, not a great gig. And Charlotte, before we move on, Charlie, when will we pick up that elusive away win? If you had to pick a game, do you know what? Let's all pick a game where we think the run's going to end this season, because it is going to end at some point. It has to. Or I kind of feel like Mick McCarthy when he gets asked, it can't get worse, can it? It can.
Or it can.
I've got my eyes on, I think we're going to go over a year. without a win away from home. I think it'll be QPR away on the 13th of January.
Ooh, lovely shout.
I'm going to be a bit more positive, and I'm going to say Preston away on the 16th of December.
Wow. When do we play Norwich?
That's the banker.
The no-brainer, the one that can never fail.
It's not related. Norwich isn't until 13th of February.
30. Oh wow! Surely not.
Surely.
We've got Leicester after those 5 games. Leicester away.
Yeah, Leicester away. No.
Irish masterclass.
Yeah, it's just annoying. I've been to 16 away games since we last won. We're just so annoying.
You know what? The Alex and shout out to Alex who sat next to me yesterday at Cardiff away. I hadn't met Alex before, and he was telling me about his last 7 away games have all been draws. Which is pretty impressive. I think it was Birmingham, Rotherham, Bristol City, Reading, Coventry, to both Coventries, and then Cardiff away. So people are saying Leicester, Huddersfield away, Leicester. Yeah, let us know your predictions. I'm gonna, you know what? I think it will be our next away game at Swansea City. So no, well, probably won't be. Anyway, moving on. So that's kind of our thoughts on the game yesterday. And yeah, let us know as always in the comment section below after this what you think. We always read through the comments, so make sure you do and check us out on socials at WD18fans. Moving on to a big bit of news coming out today. I was watching Super Sunday, had my feet up. You know, one of those where you just a little scroll through Twitter. And I've seen the exclusive that Watford has set to fire technical director Ben Manga. And Ben has already been informed of the decision taken by the ownership model at Watford.
Just rumours, nothing official.
No, very true. Do have to caveat that with it is Demartio, so they're quite a reliable source. In fairness, yeah, came out of absolutely nowhere. It's not confirmed, but this is the sort. It's quite a strong rumor that's going around. Charlie, when you saw it, I just got a text that says FFS, but something's never changed.
Yeah, I wanted you to go to Sam on this first, so I can.
Sam, so throw it to Sam.
No, I don't mind. Like you said, concerning really. If this is true, when Ben Manga came in, I think was it kind of January-ish time last year. We thought it was a big step forward for Gino to kind of take a different angle, bring someone in who's got a really, really good pedigree. Every time I've heard people talk about their experiences with Ben after the fans forum, everyone said how much of a nice guy he is. When you look at the purchases he's made, Rajovic last January, Ferreira, those two didn't work. And this year we're looking at, it's hard to know exactly which ones are his players, but Chapfordazzi maybe. Obviously Healy, Livermore, Lewis, you wouldn't expect they're his players. But I don't think he's had a lot to work with. And I just think it's Gino Pozzo being reactionary and maybe not being true to his convictions when you appoint him in the first place. When we're bringing this guy in, you've got to have a plan. We've heard Ben Manga saying about this is going to be a 5-year plan to get to the Premier League. So why are you sacking him after not even 2 windows? We've spent £1 million. Like, what is he meant to do? So look, it must be really difficult to work under Gino Pozzo closely. And I don't know if they've had an argument, but really disappointing because we've got told about Ben Manga was the one who led the kind of manager search for Val. So with that project, we want that continuity. So that could be going. It was actually interesting. I saw a tweet. We were hearing communications coming out of the club, which were kind of under Ben Manga's name. And for the Val new contract, it was from Cristiano Gioretta. So, yeah, a bit concerning. That is kind of a leopards don't change their spot situation. Ben Manga has proven in the past he's a top-class operator. So, if it is true, really disappointing, to be honest. Sam, what do you make of it?
Yeah, there was my one last hope that Gino Pozzo would change his ways, and he clearly isn't going to. I think with this signals that he wants more control again. How Giorgetta's still got a job again is beyond me. What does he do? We still don't really know, to be fair. Nothing's going to change until Gino Pozzo leaves the football club. And that's the same applies for the culture that's inbuilt within the fan base, that we have a few defeats and people are talking about Valérien Ismaël's job. I know he signed a new contract this week, but we know without doubt he'll lose his job if we don't pick up results soon. And that new contract will become irrelevant. Ben Manga has a proven track record at Frankfurt, did a fantastic job there. Comes to Watford, gets little next to nothing to work with. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes, obviously, whether he was promised certain things that he didn't get. But how can he's got this renowned scouting system. Yeah, he's given 2 million or so to put towards it. No blame towards Ben Manga at all. I'm sure wherever he goes, he'll do a fantastic job. But ultimately, Gino Pozzo needs to leave the football club if things are going to change.
So Lou Orns, who's on the hopefully he's on the stream today, but he said, "What's the guess? Gino hired someone to do the recruitment. Manga and his team didn't get the full autonomy. They had a big falling out, which led to this." I mean, the bit that really does frustrate me is, this was supposed to be a 5-year project with Ben. The way he was speaking about it was that it was a 5-year project to get Watford back in the Premier League, and within less than a year, he's gone already. I mean, not a great look whatsoever. I mean, the way I describe it, I echo what both the guys have said there. It's like bringing in a Michelin star chef and giving them ingredients from Budgeons and then saying cook up a world-class meal. It's what are you expecting from the guy? Like, also, it is frustrating for me that we are still leaning on a certain agent, and there's that whole discussion, and it's like you've got a guy here who had turned down offers from so many different clubs. Like I can imagine how many clubs, Charlie, are going to be in for this man. If this is true and he becomes a free agent, he'll be snapped up so quickly. We couldn't believe he came to us, to be completely honest with you. As you say, his track record's fantastic. It's frustrating if it is to be believed. We just got a few comments. So what's going to happen to Helen Acosta? That's an interesting point. Robbie says it wouldn't feel like an international break without Pozzo sacking someone. Echoed by Charlotte, echoed by Philip. So all three have said the same thing there. Andy says we don't know what's happened fully. It could well be that Manga just wasn't great at this level. Cisco's Disco, it was supposed to have been a 5-year project and he wasn't given a full year. What a joke. Pozzo out. There was another comment from... interesting point here, Sam. Worried Bayat would have even more influence if Manga goes.
100%, yeah, definitely. But I've got no doubt that, the reason behind this is because Pozzo wants to just rely on the clients that he knows already. It's a question for either of you here. How do we change? How do we get out of this now? Because, again, it just feels like 3 steps back.
Just on, I'm just reading a quote that came from the first fans forum, I think in the summer, 4 months ago. Gino Pozzo: "In that search to improve the club, to make the club better, we were all impressed with the job that Ben did at Frankfurt. The philosophy he was following was actually very close to the one that we were implementing. So I think it was a really good fit. He has a strong knowledge of certain markets and we didn't have great contacts there. We saw that there was a perfect fit because he was not overlapping in our knowledge. But at the same time, he was bringing continuity into the philosophy that we have. In that case, we wanted to give stronger support, add a stronger asset inside the technical group. We have more scouts. There is a lot more work in the scouting area, and his presence here at the training ground enabled us to have a greater deal of control and relationships with different players." So we've seen how many quotes have come out of the hierarchy that have backfired, but it's just, for me, it's just reactionary. And I don't know if the decisions aren't like, when you bring in someone like that, surely you've got like a roadmap of what the plan is, target year one, short-term, long-term plan. And maybe someone's dishonest in the earlier conversation where the budget wasn't as much as promised. And obviously Ben Manga's kicked off and maybe he's it's going to be a mutual agreement, which wouldn't surprise me, but just goes to the show there that it's unfortunately kind of the lack of serious planning and being a proper football club, which is worrying, and especially with the manager situation coming up. So yeah, I hate being negative, but the reality is nothing will change while Gino Pozzo's the owner of Watford.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely bang on. I just wanted to point out that other supermarkets are available, as he mentions. Budgeon's, great shout. Do you know where do you rank the sort of supermarket? Just quickly, I mean, for me, Surin's gone Aldi is up there, just to bring a little bit of a more lighter note. Sam, I mean, as a student, you're more of a. For me, I was a little man.
I'm an Aldi man. There's one right at the bottom of my road, to be honest with
Absolutely.
you. So yeah, home and away for Aldi, to be honest.
Charlie.
Tesco till I die.
Home away with Aldi, that is amazing. Do you know what? I'm going to put it out there, and for me, criminally underrated. And Morrison's.
Yeah,
it's a
good salad bar.
Oh, the salad bar, but also Charlie, make your own pizza.
Oh, I haven't tried that.
Yeah. Let us know in the comment section your favourite supermarket. But I mean, like
that was a bit of partridge there. There's no favourite food market, but back to Gino. I was just laughing. What were you going to say? Something serious?
No,
if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Oh my god, it's killed me.
I wonder where Gino shops.
Yeah, what do you reckon? If you had to guess the supermarket Gino Pozzo shops in, what would it
be? Probably Aldi again, because he doesn't like to spend more than he has to.
The dodgy one down the road, which you used to go in to get free alcohol when you were younger.
Oh my god, that's killed me. Yeah, God, we've had a few shouts in. Morrison's, Aldi, M&S is a lovely shout. Someone, a highlight of yesterday was the streaker. Great. I mean, Charlie, a little drop of the shoulder, wasn't it?
He must have been so bored of Cardiff's performance that he thought, yeah, let's just get out of this. Whether it's running on, get that ban. Just on the Gino Pozzo, Charlie, got back to a bit serious. But
sorry.
No. I just wanted to know, like, if it is true and it does happen, how do you think it affects the rest of the season, Jacob?
With Manga?
Yeah, so say if it happens, how does it affect the rest of the season, recruitment?
Well, I think our recruitment strategy won't be too different going into January. I mean, I think, as you said, Charlie, the amount we spent was just on Ince and Rajovic. I mean, I don't think we'll beat the Rajovic fee again this season. I mean, I'd be absolutely sure, unless there was maybe an outgoing. But even then, you look at Pedro leaving, we didn't invest all that money back in because we are paying off debts, and it's definitely an attempt to cut the wage bill. So, in answer to your question, I think it'd probably just be another case of dipping into the loan and the free agent market again. I mean, Watford have always really done that in January under the Pozzos. So it probably might be a free agent, similar vein to Carlos Sanchez or a Matt Colony on loan to the end of the season. So, like, Sam, what do you reckon? Like, could you see us buying anybody? I can't.
No, to be honest with you, probably not. Maybe one or two loans from the Serie B or the Belgian division or something like that. But oh god, we're already talking about January. And the window just shut now. It's just a circus, isn't it? Though, because there was so much optimism going into the season about a new start, a new dawn. Second chances for the likes of Pozzo, Gioretta even. And I just think if they do sack him, then they've completely thrown that down the drain.
My big problem is the continuity. Like, if results do go badly and Val does lose his job, we'll probably end up getting a manager with completely different principles. So, like, the profile of the players will be mismatched and we'll just continue in the vicious cycle that's got us to where we are now through all the changing. So that lack of stability and the constant changes, I just think it's going to keep us in a bad, like an awful washing machine of constant change.
Absolutely. I think that's where we'll leave it. Charlie, how are you spending your international break, mate? You up to anything?
No, not thinking about Watford for a week or so.
I think it'll be good. It'll be good for my, just for my own sanity. Sam, you up to anything, mate?
It's actually my birthday next weekend, so Watford can't ruin my weekend. That's the best bit about
it. Sam, this is gonna sound terrible. I actually don't know your birthday.
It's 14th of October. Best to remember it because
right. Remember it, viewers. Send Sam a message. 14th of October.
I think it's around. It's either on the 14th or it's the 13th that we beat Arsenal 2-1 with that Tom Cleverley last minute goal. So best way to remember it, I think, at least. So yeah, big 21, and hopefully yeah, I mean, Watford can't ruin it unless, of course, Valerian Ismail is sacked next Saturday. So quickly as well, before we wrap up, Prediction League as well.
Yes.
I'll just get this up over here.
And while Sam's getting up, Jacob, remember the exciting content we've got coming up this week.
Oh, mate.
Easy up.
Oh, Charlotte, just by the way, player ratings, we missed them out today just because we're a little bit tight on time, and we kind of thought probably didn't really need to do them for yesterday.
We'll give an average of probably a 5 average all round.
An average for everyone. Go on, Sam. Back next week, Charlotte.
So quick recap. We have Jacob got perfect score yesterday with 1-1, so he's now top of the league with 9 points. I'm second with 8. Charlie sat at the bottom of the league with 5. We're going to do, because there's a midweek game after the international break as well, we'll do the Sheffield Wednesday home game and Swansea away. So kicking off, I'll go for Sheffield Wednesday.
Swansea? Will we not do that after Sheffield Wednesday?
Oh, yeah, of course. Forgot about that. Good point.
I'm trying to suck us in.
Getting too ahead of myself here. All right, so Sheffield Wednesday at home. I'm going to go with 1-0 Watford. Charlie.
2-1 Watford.
And Jacob.
Oh, I think we're going to come out the blocks quickly. It's going to be 2-1 Watford.
Big one there. If you two get the correct result, I might be in a bit of trouble here. Good stuff.
And also, so 2 things just to wrap up. Bit of housekeeping. Like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts, all that good stuff. And yeah, really appreciate that. Of course, this video is brought to you by the Mad Squirrel for the best beer in Watford. Make sure you do go and check those guys out. We're back there. Is it Sheffield Wednesday game? We're doing a post-match pint. So if you want to come along, we'll be there. Make sure you come and say hello. And thanks to everyone who's, like, yesterday, we had so many people come and say hello. And even at my Sunday League game today, people saying hello. So really do appreciate it. And yeah, in terms of the content coming up on the channel, to make sure you're tuned in, we've got a cool release coming out on Thursday. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. We've got an interview with a significant Watford fan figure the week after. So it's hard. It's actually hard to explain it without revealing it. So I think I've managed to get away with it. But the point is, make sure you do subscribe to WD18 because we've got plenty of content on the way. Follow Sam, myself, Charlie on socials. Our at's obviously just underneath us, and WD18 at WD18 fans. Thanks so much to Surin. Pog Alfie, he's loving the chat. And Charlotte, great to see you. And yeah, to everyone else, take care. Hope you have a great week. Let us know what supermarket you shop in, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Up the audits.